The next movie in the Planet of the Apes franchise has recently been announced, and the movie's title, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, has highlighted how the film would be different from the previous ones. So, how different would it be? Also, the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has a secret weapon for success. Keep watching for more info on all of these in this video. Starting us off, the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes story confirmation is a huge relief. The newest installment of the Planet of the Apes franchise, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, is now under production at Disney. The initial storyline hints are already a tremendous relief. It was only apparent how the Planet of the Apes series would go after the critically acclaimed, seemingly self-contained reboot trilogy, mainly because Disney had just acquired 20th Century Fox, as plans for a new Planet of the Apes film were being discussed. The announcement of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which will be a proper sequel to the Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy, alleviates any worries about the saga's future more than 5 years after the release of War for the Planet of the Apes. The Planet of the Apes trilogy, which consists of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes, is a rare example of a film that successfully blends intense character analysis with blockbuster-level action. It was challenging to decide where to take the narrative after the success of the Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy, which raised the bar for blockbuster science fiction movies. The conclusion of Caesar's tale in War for the Planet of the Apes was quite fulfilling. Therefore, the subsequent Planet of the Apes film ran the risk of not being a real sequel, but rather just another remake or reboot. It's a relief that the existence of a sequel to the War for the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, has finally been established. According to the first official description of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the story begins many years after War for the Planet of the Apes, which indicates that the sequel will take place years after Caesar's demise. Although a remake of the original Planet of the Apes series could have been the most straightforward option for a new installment, what Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is doing is much more intriguing. Next, Planet of the Apes 4's title highlights how the film would be different. The fourth film in the rebooted Planet of the Apes series, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, indicated how it will vary from the first 3 movies. The movies have consistently changed the first few words of each title in the series, including the relaunched entries and the original flicks. The first movie in the revived series, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, told the story of the simian flu pandemic caused by Caesar the Ape, which led to the emergence of sentient apes. Similar to the first movie, the second, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, followed the rise of the ape society on Earth in its early stages. Finally, one of Matt Reeves' finest films, War for the Planet of the Apes, was self-explanatory, since Caesar was fighting the war against the US Army that Koba had started in the previous movie. In keeping with this pattern, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes provides insight into how the next sequel will vary from its predecessors. The term Kingdom is used in the title of the movie, which suggests that it could highlight a neglected aspect of the first 3 movies. Rise, which depicted the pandemic outbreak, was mostly set in modernity as it is known in the real world. Although Caesar's ape colony was shown in some small ways in Dawn and War, they were, to put it mildly, insignificant, given the film's other primary themes. However, in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the fourth picture can depict an ape community in a way that its predecessors could not. A fully developed ape civilization may be shown because of the word kingdom and the time frame in Planet of the Apes 4. The fact that the movie takes place many years after the events of the War for the Planet of the Apes suggests that the apes have lived in peace for a very long period. This might imply that when the story begins, the Caesar's party survivors have established a vast civilization around the oasis they discovered at the end of the last movie. The title Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes may also allude to the film's core conflict. Audiences subconsciously conjure up images of feuding kingdoms from past civilizations when the word kingdom is used, with the possibility of more intelligent apes spreading across the nation due to the spread of the simian flu, as hinted at by Bad Ape in War for Planet of the Apes. This might imply that the primary enemy of the movie is from one of these ape kingdoms, instead of the betrayal-driven struggle of Dawn and the guerrilla warfare action of War. This would build up a territorial-style, large-scale fight and maybe produce the finest villain in the franchise. Next, Apes 4's title could allow for the franchise's best villain. One method would be to make the antagonist of the movie an ape from a different kingdom. This would allow the ape to be another Caesar, giving the villain in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes the ability to be incredibly captivating and emotionally stirring. Caesar's struggle made him an immense immensely compelling protagonist, as shown in the previous 3 Apes movies. As a result, the anticipated titular kingdom in Apes 4 will seem satisfying because of his tale. Another ape group may have encountered difficulties with its own Caesar replacement. However, this is not a given. The leader of one of these tribes may then engage in war with the apes from the first 3 films' apes, setting up a fascinating villain. This would combine the most vital traits of the 2 main antagonists from the series, Dawn and War, respectively. The 3rd movie was permitted to have a big, explosive war at its core, thanks to the Colonel from War. These components may be combined to create Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which would capitalize on the new title for the forthcoming sequel while featuring the best villain in the franchise. Following that, the sequel to the Planet of the Apes film, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, has a secret weapon for success. The 4th installment of the rebooted Planet of the Apes series, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, will be directed by an underappreciated success, following the release of its predecessor in 2017. The 4th movie's formal announcement came in 2022 after a protracted production stage. Matt Reeves started working on a sequel when War for the Planet of the Apes came out, but it was briefly put on hold when Disney bought 20th Century Fox. Due to Reeves' dedication to DC's The Batman franchise, a new director was named for the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, with a potential May 24, 2024 release date. After a script was created and approved during the COVID epidemic, production on the 4th installment started in October 2022. The key to Kingdom of the Apes' success rests in the new filmmaker. Even though Rupert Wyatt and Matt Reeves both made excellent films, particularly the latter, who had tremendous success directing both Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for Planet of the Apes. The choice of Wes Ball as the new director of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is excellent. The first installment of the Maze Runner franchise marked Wes Ball's Hollywood filmmaker debut. The Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, and Maze Runner, The Death Cure were the 2 sequels that Ball released after this. Disney recruited Wes Ball to start working on the 4th Planet of the Apes film after the release of The Death Cure in 2018. The filmmaker is an excellent candidate for the Planet of the Apes 4 movie, as Disney's first try after taking over from Fox. Based on the many outstanding features of Ball's directing with the Maze Runner trilogy, has some additional linkages relating him to the Ape series. So how can Ball's earlier films help Apes 4? Ball's work on the Maze Runner series is the first factor that makes him a good choice for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The latter's use of the environment to create a creepy tone was one of its most outstanding features. Because of the dystopian, post-apocalyptic setting of the Maze Runner movies, the mood and atmosphere were formed. The first movie was less specific in this regard because it was cloaked in mystery, but Ball still used the fear of the basic idea to create a captivating mood for the first film, which would work well for the 4th Planet of the Apes film. Notably, both of the Maze Runner film's 2 sequels took place in post-apocalyptic America. The mood that Ball created was not the problem, even if the final 2 movies received mixed reviews. Despite the changes from the novels and the mediocre writing, the atmosphere of dread, terror, and even horror that Ball generated from the post-apocalyptic environment of the United States made the film still watchable. Due to the simian flu introduced in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and the fact that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is also set in post-apocalyptic America, Ball will feel quite at home directing a movie with a similar mood and tone. And finally, Wes Ball has connections to previous Apes director Matt Reeves. Wes Ball's relationship with former Apes and the Batman director Matt Reeves is another benefit of choosing him to helm the upcoming Apes movie, in addition to his work on the Maze Runner trilogy. This relationship stems from a canceled film project in which both Reeves and Ball were involved, which was likewise impacted by Disney's acquisition of Fox, but unfavorably in comparison to the optimistic consequence of Ball being granted Planet of the Apes 4. That film, directed by Ball, was an adaptation of the comic strip Mouse Guard. Along with Ball, Reeves was hired to produce the movie. Disney, however, decided to terminate the project 2 weeks before Ball was offered the role in the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie. Although this is the case, Reeves and Ball will have collaborated on the film for about 2 years. As a result, Ball will be aware of Reeves' contributions to the previous Apes movies, which will be advantageous for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, because it builds on Reeves' films and Caesar's legacy. Ball won't likely want to disparage Reeves' earlier works. Instead, he'll probably commemorate them in the 4th installment, while still giving it his distinctive series twists. So, that's it guys. While Planet of the Apes 4's title has highlighted how the film would be different and have a different director at the helm, do you think the movie would be a success like its predecessor? Let's hear your comments in the section below. Don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.